Yeah, when Lamont and I were kids, like, he was into Asteroids and Defender.
Really?
Yeah, and he would just crush it. We'd be down here at Nathan's. Nathan's Hot Dogs is down here, right about halfway between here and the beach. And they had a huge arcade in there. And Lamont would be in there for hours and hours and hours, just crushing it on Asteroids or Defender. And they knew how to flip the machine.
Yeah.
They would just, I think you could say you could get to 1 million and then the machine would flip. So, yeah, he was always, like, into the machines and the computers and all that kind of stuff. Definitely not my strong point. Like, I didn't even play those games. I would do skeet ball and try to win tickets.
I never got into any of those video games. Well, I take it back. I like Pac-Man.
You like Pac-Man? Everybody liked Pac-Man. Because
cool.
even idiots like us could do Pac-Man. Like I was...
Dude, you ever go to Glitch, the bar?
Yeah, I did. I went there with the wife with all those old machines and everything.
Dude. And they're all free. Dude, you should have seen. I was crushing it on Pac-Man over there.
What were you saying? Well, let's start the podcast. This is Captain Jeff. I got Steven Busaka in here with me today, and we were talking about our social network. And we call it the Real Guy Network. And I think some people that, aren't real familiar with the term network don't even realize they're in our network. But they're in the network. Now, you were just saying, like, we got a lot of cool guys in our network.
We got some of the best freaking dudes in our network, man.
Why do you say that?
They're just, it's like some of these people are like in different states.
Right.
Like Joe Creco.
Right.
You know what I mean? Homeboy's up in Jersey. And it's like, we all talk to each other and like each other's stuff as if we've been friends for years.
Right, like you went to high school with that kid or something.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like how many networks can say that? You know what I mean?
Well, it's an ongoing. I mean, it's a living network.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, we've been putting out some sort of content on social media: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Lamont crushes it on Twitter. Instagram, which is not our biggest and best, but definitely have it on there.
That's my favorite, is the Instagram.
Facebook, all of it, and we've been putting out the message, the content, and what we believe, what we fish for, what we do, even small personal stuff like the family, like people know who the worm is, you know what I mean? And then we've done LunkerCon over the years, and some people just know us from watching the old YouTube videos, and they'll comment, and then they're part of the network, They know about what we do, and they know about Lunkerdog fishing. You know what I mean?
And dude, they're freaking supportive as hell. Like, it's like, I like too that in our network, somebody will catch a fish, they'll post a picture. Great job, dude.
Right. They stay positive for the most part.
You know what I mean? Like when I posted the bonefish the other day.
They were honestly happy for you.
They were like, dude, you know what I mean? It's like, we are so lucky to have the network of guys that we have.
Well, I think the way you create a network that way, or why it's such a good network and how we were able to create it, is we were ourselves.
We didn't try to be.
Never did we try to fake anybody, like that we were some sort of,
They were the greatest fishermen in the world.
Right. Well, I didn't trick them. I just showed them that I was the best fisherman. But I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, this is Captain Jeff being an asshole again. Well, if you're not used to it after 15 years of social media, I guess they're never going to get used to it. But that's what I mean, is people in our network know, that I'm cocky or pompous sometimes. And, they can laugh at it. They can get pissed at it, whatever. It's all good. But we've touched people over the years, and they participate. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of these guys that are in social media that have these huge numbers of subscribers and views on their YouTube and on their Instagrams and all that. But do you think they could get 500 people to show up at a social network event?
Heck no.
Right? And if they did, well, they should. They got those huge numbers. So people don't even realize that they're in the network. You know what I mean? But if you have a friend that wants to go fishing, and you tell him to call the Lunkerdog because you heard about him through a friend on social media, that means you're in the network.
That makes you part of the family.
That's part of the Real Guy Network. Now, you may be a small part of it. You may not participate in it every single day.
But you're still a part.
But you're in there. You're in the network. And we got some famous people, like really famous people that are in the network.
Got Peter Miller, George Gotts.
Well, you got the celebrity fishing type people that are in the network. And
guys like Andy Mill.
I met a lot of these people and fished with a lot of these people because of how strong the network is. But my favorite part is, like you were saying, the positive online encouragement that the guys in the network give each other. The fact that the people in the network actually think that they're friends. That there's guys in the network that go out of their way to, well, look, Joe Argento. I never met the dude before in my life. And he sends me a package of walleye, all sorts of Italian sausages and stuff.
He's still got to send me some of that stuff, too.
And I wasn't, and think about this, he wasn't a YouTuber.
No.
He wasn't, where the heck did he come from? Twitter, I think.
Is that where he found it? You sure it was Twitter?
I'm not positive.
I don't think it was Twitter.
I think he joined up. I think he joined Twitter so he could communicate with Lamont.
Okay.
But anyway, he was not like a real social media person. But I think he maybe saw TV or something. But anyway, Joe Argento. Now, he's made multiple friends. He's been at LunkerCon.
Has he been to LunkerCon?
Dude, he was at LunkerCon in Fort Lauderdale 3 years ago when we did it at Downtowner.
Okay.
And not only was he at LunkerCon, he won the Captain Jeff Lookalike contest, and he brought hundreds of dollars worth of fishing tackle for kids.
Wait, the one at the Downtowner, like 2 years ago?
That was 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, because this is the third year. We're due for a LunkerCon. We did last year in Tampa. The year before that
was Downtowner. That's right.
Joe Argento went to that one and won the big cast net prize and all that. But like I said, Joey was there, who met other people that he'd never met before face to face, but actually thought that he knew because of the network.
Yeah.
And all those people that were in that building that day, some of the most famous fishermen in all of South Florida, to kids and anywhere in between, all in the network.
Yep.
You couldn't have got there.
No.
And that's a breathing, living network. And now with the podcast, we're delivering more content to the network so they can know more stuff in a totally different way.
Another cool thing about a network, too, you were saying about how it's like, let's say to somebody who's just like, I'm looking to catch, I don't know, some kind of fish. All the people on our network, we know people. We can say, you talk to this guy. You want to catch tarpon? Talk to Jeff. You want to catch bonefish? Call Carl Ball.
Right.
You want to fish freaking Everglades City? Call Brian Sanders.
Right. And people are able to get that information not because there's one expert in the network. It's because there's a whole network of people, good people that are into the same thing, real guys trying to help each other out.
Yep.
So if they did pick a guide that wasn't the right one, somebody in our network would let them know.
Yep.
If they picked the right guide and they were doing the right trip, then they would get the encouragement and the pats on the backs like, hey, good job, good luck, whatever you want to say it, through the network. If they're really into the network and actually want to mix and mingle, they show up to LunkerCon. We had over 20 people fly in from different states.
Isn't that incredible?
To go to the Tampa LunkerCon.
Joey was supposed to go to that one.
Joe Argento?
He was supposed to go. He messaged me. He was like, dude, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. And hopefully he'll come down this year. And Joey, when you come down, if you don't mind bringing me some of that sopressata, man, hook a brother up.
Dude.
Just maybe like a few slices, Joey.
He was probably going to bring it anyway. Now you probably pissed him off. He's like, I'm not bringing Busaka nothing. You don't
Joey,
ask.
Come on. I love you, brother.
You don't ask. Anyway. But yeah, because we refer to the Real Guy Network, in all the different forms of media. And I don't think some people don't get it. Other people, it just comes natural. They're into social media. They understand how the networks work. But the Real Guy Network, it's strong. I got on TV because of the Real Guy Network multiple times. You know what I mean? My charter business stays busy because of the social network. My social life is active because of the network. And when you're fishing all the time, you're out on the boat all the time, your social life can get pretty stale. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, you get your clients on the boat, but you're working. You know what I mean? And then the time that you're not working, you're coordinating, and you don't have time to like go down to the bar and have a few beers with your bros, or take 2 days and go fishing and catch a snook with your bros. But you do have 30 minutes at the end of the night to check out who in the network caught what, or traveled where, or had a kid, or is having a birthday, or whatever, or caught a bonefish like you. How many dudes in the network were genuinely happy for you?
A lot. And one of the coolest things too I remember is, because again, like we've been talking about this before, so people knew I was trying to get the bone, and I was going with Carl. And yesterday morning when we went out there, I took a picture and I posted in my story on Instagram, Key Biscayne. And I was in shock of how many people were commenting on that saying, good luck, man. Go get him. Like, I remember my buddy TJ Ralph from Flatline Sport Fishing. He was like, dude, go get him, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, did you get him? Did you get him? It's like, I was like, whoa.
Right. And how many people that were rooting for you to get your bonefish that you never even met before?
I couldn't believe it. I had people commenting.
No, there was hundreds.
Yeah, I had people commenting actually saying, my man, you got him. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, I didn't even think that anybody even really thought to listen to it. But I was like, holy crap, these people actually listened to it and were actually rooting for me.
Well,
that's a cool freaking feeling.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they talk about social media, either they don't like it because, one, they're not actually being social on social media. But when you're really social on social media,
it's fun.
Not only is it fun, but you're giving energy. You're giving something for these people. Like, we did a triple live for, was it 8 months straight? No, we did it for a year straight.
Yeah, it had to because we started it in like January.
So you committed most of your Tuesday nights.
I only missed 2.
Right,
that was it.
Right, you committed most of your Tuesday nights for the whole year to be on Triple Live. So you were live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, doing Triple Live for a year, which totally,
And not because I thought I was getting anything out of it.
No, because you were just having fun. You were just being social. That's what I mean. You have to be part. It can't just be media. It can't be just a show. You have to be social. So you get on there, you spend your time, you talk, you laugh, you have a good time. There was times that, you talked about serious stuff. Now you're doing the podcast. So you're giving up something to the network, which then in turns ends up giving you something back. You know what I mean? And they're truly happy to see you catching your bonefish. They were happy when they saw you catch your sheep's head, And it's cool because you're whether you like it or not, Steven, you're a novice. You're just getting this stuff. This is your first.
That's the best feeling. I'm telling you, you'll never have the same experience as the first. It's like buying a new car,
right? And
for the first time,
right? And these people know that,
yeah. And
they've had their firsts, and they're so excited for you, and it's all part of being in the Real Guy Network.
Yeah, and
it's fun.
It's freaking blast, dude. I always look back now because when I first started fishing, I was freshwater fishing. I never thought much about none of this stuff. Even when I first got into saltwater fishing, I never really thought about, oh, well, let me get involved with, some kind of fishing. I didn't think about that stuff.
Right.
And I tell you what, I am so happy that I did it.
You know the podcast I was telling you about?
Captain's Collective?
Captain's Collective. And I never met these kids before, but I've been listening to their podcast because they're part of the Waypoint TV thing. And I'm not positive if they know who Lunkerdog is or not. I think some of them do, some of them don't. But anyway, I'm listening to them guys, and a lot of mixed emotions on social media. And there was this one guy that sounded like a superstar. His name was Stump.
Stump?
Stump was his
nickname.
Like
a tree stump.
Yeah, that was his nickname. And he reminded me like a cousin of mine from South Georgia or something. But he was a super nice dude. But he had kind of like a way more negative outlook on fishing guides and social media. And I was listening to it, and it was legitimate. I mean, he was convincing, and he might be right, but I think that if he was more active or part of our social network, where it was actually, there was give and take, where there was times for him to participate and there was times for him to kind of back off and let the other guys participate, and there was more of a social aspect to it, I think that, it'd be way more valuable to him and for guys like him. And I think there's a lot of dudes, especially the younger people, that get online and do social media, and they just keep posting pictures or videos or whatever it is that, they think is going to get a lot of likes, instead of posting things that they think people like them would actually like. And that's what a real like in social media should stand for. It shouldn't stand for, how many did you get? Because
that's what they care about, is how many likes they're getting.
Yeah, well, if everybody's so caught up in how many likes they're getting, well, who cares if you got 150 people that said they liked something? I'd rather to get 15 people that legitimately personally liked what it was that the media was.
They felt some kind of connection to it.
Right. That's a real like. And those are the ones that people should worry about on social media. You know what I mean? Like, can you make somebody like what you like? Can you put media out there that's going to make them want to connect with you, to feel like they have something in common with you, to feel like you might be able to bring some joy to their life? Or maybe you piss them off.
Again, it's all sparking emotions.
Right, but at least you pissed them off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now I got somebody that pissed me off. Like, the best example, and like we can go on and on about it. Well, might as well. Shit, we're doing podcasts. We can go on and on. But people get all worked up about the haters and the negativity that is spewed all over social media. And I get it. Some of it is pretty friggin' ridiculous.
Well, I mean, look, sometimes there are going to be people that just want to say something because they want to spark a reaction out of you to get you all pissed off.
Well, there's all different reasons to say, or for somebody not to like what you're saying or whatever. But I like to think of it like, when I grew up, we watched wrestling on Saturdays. Florida wrestling. Then you had the WWF a little bit later. And there was characters on there. They were all wrestlers, right? But there was characters on there that you hated. You hated them. You wanted them to get beat up. You were booing them. You were cursing at them. You hated them. But if they didn't come on that Saturday morning, you missed them. You missed hating on them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then there was guys that you liked, and you swore they were the best people ever. They were the greatest thing since sliced bread because you liked them. You know what I mean? And the wrestling thing is the perfect dynamic. You have to have some people that hate you. You have to have some people that hate you.
I think the way I see it is if nobody hates you, did you spark any kind of emotion? Do people feel any kind of connection with you?
Well, maybe not, but who cares if somebody, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing all the time to have haters.
And at the end of the day, it's like, if you do, you do. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't focus in on that so much.
Well, and then don't focus in on what they put online. Because they'll put stuff online that they would never, of course, say to your face.
Absolutely not.
So because they wouldn't say it to your face, why in the world would you get upset about it if you see it online? You know what I mean?
And that's a good way to look at it. Just be like, dude, if this guy was standing right in front of me, would he really say that? No.
And also, if you said the same thing to somebody in conversation, they would never get offended. You could say the same exact thing, but because you're standing in front of them and you're not being aggressive and you got a smile on your face and it's a pleasant conversation, but you're just telling them your side of it, they'll never hate you for it. But you do that online and you type it, and then you got 3 dudes that hate it. And they want to say something about it, which they would only do online.
Private messenger.
And as soon as they get to that point, I don't even read it. Unless it's funny. Yeah. Some of the haters are pretty freaking funny.
Dude, the best example of that was the freaking power casting video on YouTube.
Oh.
That was the best. The freaking dude that was like, I'm trying to remember what the heck. It was like Fish M Magnet.
Oh, dude. Some people went totally nuts. And totally.
They were like, you will never get the kind of accuracy throwing like that.
No, they went totally nuts. And they were hating on power casting and like debating on techniques and styles and stuff. And like they totally overanalyzed it. That's freaking great. It's
entertaining. You know how you know it was entertaining? Because you guys did a separate video actually going through the comments. That's when you know the comments were great. Is when you do a separate video to talk about how great the comments were.
Right. And I don't know, dude, that video, even to this day, gets a lot of views. And when they watch that video, we get even more comments. And some of those people ended up being in the network. They hated the power casting video. Other people loved the power casting video.
Dude, I don't know if I told you. You know which videos I love? Remember I used to be the How Salt Life Are You videos? Those short ones?
How Salt Life Are You?
Those like you guys in the dark.
That was great. People went nuts.
My favorite one was, I think it was the one that Lamont did where he was like, I used to be so Salt Life. I lost over $300 worth of braid, leader, and plug.
No, the Salt Life things were great. The Swivel Guy video was good.
That was good.
I mean, and then what happened is people in the social network would see the videos, then they would see the comments, and then they'd see other people refer to the videos like on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that, and then they'd feel even more connected because they knew what the hell they were talking about and everybody else didn't.
Remember the first iCast one? Where you were like hating on iCast?
That
was phenomenal.
No, I mean, and it was all part of entertaining people. Like we never took the stance like we're going to teach people how to be great fishermen, or I'm going to show you what a great fisherman we are, or
this is how it's done.
No, but what we did show is we showed you the water taxis. We showed you the ninja-style one-handed cast net. We showed you the braided cast net. We showed you the chicken and the mullet got the same gizzard. We taught you what a swivel guy was. Pre-pod.
Happy bait.
All of it. And it's all part of being part of the social network. And me and Steven want to thank everybody in the social network for listening to the new podcast. It's been great. And for being part of the social network. All the dudes out there. And we will be doing LunkerCon this year in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to do it at Tarpon River Brewery.
Oh, we are? Do we have a date set yet?
I don't have a date yet, but it's going to be the last week of August, first week of September. We always do it then. And we're also going to Yankeetown over...
it's Billy Nast's territory.
Yeah, Yankeetown, or what the hell they call that?
Homosassa
for Scallop-Palooza. Have you heard about this?
Scallop-Palooza?
Yeah, the Flats Mafia guys, Bubba's putting it on. They're going to do a big party over there for Scallop-Palooza, so I think I'm going to roll over there. I've been dying to get over to that area, and I haven't yet. And I think that kid Stump that we were talking about earlier, I think he's there. And I know there's a ton of guides there, so I think I'm going to run over there for that event and then come back and do LunkerCon here. But anyway, both Steven and I want to thank you for being part of the social network. You are listening to the Real Guy podcast, and this is the Real Guy Network.
Run that dog.
Run that dog.